Hey everyone, it's January 15th, and that means that if today is your birthday, you shared with American serial killer Joseph Robert Miller, who murdered at least 6 victims beginning in the 1970s, not to be confused with American serial killer Joseph Daniel Miller, who murdered at least 5 victims beginning in the 1980s. Stay away from Joseph Millers. But that's Joseph Robert Miller, right up there. Born in 1955, Miller was given up for adoption as an infant, being taken in by a couple in Chicago. They were extremely strict, and he suffered frequent beatings as punishment for any misbehavior. He turned to petty crime as an outlet for his aggression and was first arrested as a teenager in the late 60s. Miller racked up 10 more arrests over the next decade, serving many short stints behind bars, including ones for theft, carjacking, and sexual assault. He left Chicago and spent time living in rural parts of Illinois, eventually settling down in Skokie, getting married, and accepting a job as a pizza delivery driver. During this time, his crimes escalated past mere petty offenses all the way to murder. In 1977, he picked up a prostitute in Chicago, sexually assaulted and strangled her, then left her body wrapped in a blanket outside a liquor store near his home in Skokie. Investigators quickly learned that his car was seen near where the woman was last spotted and brought him in for questioning. The next day, another prostitute's body was found, and a fellow streetwalker told the police that Miller and his wife used to hire them together. He was arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder along with a litany of other crimes in 1978, but procedural issues caused much of the physical evidence to be thrown out. Facing a possible acquittal for a lack of hard evidence, the prosecution offered Miller a plea bargain where he was sentenced to 30 years behind bars with the possibility of parole after 15. He was a model prisoner and participated in a sex offender rehabilitation program while incarcerated, leading to his release in 1993, after which he moved to Peoria, where he lived in a nursing home. A few months after his release, he was hired to make some repairs at the home of an 88-year-old woman who went missing as soon as he was done. Additionally, the bodies of 3 local prostitutes were found strangled and stabbed over the next month. Investigators immediately considered Miller a suspect, and this time were determined not to let him get away with murder. They found a knife with his fingerprints on it, women's undergarments, and sheets with dried blood on them. His DNA was matched to hair found on one of the victims, and he was on trial for murder once again. Miller was convicted and sentenced to die, sitting on death row until 2011 when the state of Illinois abolished the death penalty. He granted a prison interview in 2004 to a student of Illinois State University, which is located approximately 10 miles from Peoria. In the interview, he confessed to having killed another 3 women that the authorities weren't aware of. The student contacted a local reporter who convinced Miller to confess on camera, which he did. The reporter stated, "He went through in graphic detail how he abducted, raped, tortured, and then finally killed and disposed of the bodies." No additional charges were filed, however, since the police believed he was just seeking attention and another man was guilty of those murders. He remains behind bars to this day and will never be released. If this is your birthday, I hope you have a great day. Leave me a comment so I can wish you a happy birthday. If you know someone whose birthday it is today, send them this video so they can find out all about their birthday twin. And to Joseph Robert Miller, I say, happy birthday, you bastard.